John from JO Ventures Outdoors, and I've got another video for you. Today we have kind of just a whole mix of things here to talk about. Mail call and leather projects and another traveling knife coming up. And oh, I forgot one other thing I needed to show you, so let me get that out here too. Almost forgot that again. So yeah, I'll talk about it first. The first thing is I did a mail call video, my Thankful Thursday, with gifts from Walter, and I forgot a couple. The first one was the couple things I forgot were stamps. He sent me this Handmade in USA stamp, and then also one that I could use as a maker's mark. It says handcrafted. And I'll put a picture of, well, no, I've got a sheath. Hold on a second. I've got a slip that will show that right here. This is a little blue slip I'm working on. And there it is, handcrafted by JO. I think that's pretty cool. That works pretty well as a maker's mark. I like the American flag, but I think this works pretty decently. So pretty cool. Thank you, Walter, for these stamps. Put these over here. And then also, I've got a couple leather projects, but first I did a couple of trades with Randy's WSG. Thank you, Randy, for the trade. Just awesome. So we did a maker swap, and then we also did a trade. And if you watched his video, you know what we traded and that sort of thing. But on the maker swap, here's the slip he made. And I wanted one with that burlap texture on it. And just look at that. I mean, it's just beautiful, Randy. He did a great job. Now, I put the bead and the lanyard on here. Actually, Factors of Jack made that bead. But yeah, this is just awesome. Got the skull on there. Very cool. Thank you, Randy, very much. Just an awesome slip. So then the trade was, I saw his video recently where he's talking about that yellow sodbuster. And you know, Randy just doesn't like that yellow Delrin. And he was carrying on about that on that video, just mentioned it. And I thought, well, I don't really like my black sodbuster, so maybe I'll trade with him. So I asked him if he'd trade because I've been after the yellow Delrin with the carbon steel. And so Randy sent that over to me. And you know what Randy did? He included the teeners on that too. He just threw those teeners in for free. Look at that. Randy, thank you so much. This is just awesome. I love it. I've been wanting to buy one of these. I've been kind of collecting the yellow Delrin with the carbon steel. And I believe this is a 2022, if I'm correct. It has 8 dots. And I believe that ting stamp is in the 2020s. And you can see there it's a 3137 USACS. Pretty good fit and finish. The blade is a little bit to the pile side on this one, but I don't care. I'm using it. And you know what? I wasn't sure what I was going to use this slip for, but that sawbuster just fits right down in there, Randy. So I'm using it for that. So that's just awesome. He even sent me the box. I couldn't send him the box. I traded him my black one, and I got it off eBay, and it didn't come with a box. So I couldn't do that, but he didn't mind that. The other thing he sent over was the next traveling knife, and this is the Rough Rider RR1547. This isn't the official video for this, but just a sneak preview. And Randy made the slip for this too. This is sent over by Rusty Miner, and I can't remember what the buckshot bone. I think this is the buckshot bone. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember, but it's got that shotgun type of dimpling, and Randy mimicked it on the slip that he made for it. Look at that. Fantastic, Randy. His leather work is just getting better and better and better every time I see it. And I love his slips. I carry one all the time with my Buck 371 in it. And so here's the next traveling knife. And it goes down in here. I'll talk more about this in its official video, but I just thought I would give you just a little preview. So, well, look at that. It just fits right down in there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So love it, love it, love it, love it. Slip just falls right down in there, and there we go. So we got that. So the other thing, and I'll put this over to the side here for a minute, along with Walter's stamps. Fantastic. Been working on some other leather projects. So the next one is this sheath for a gentleman. He contacted me. Believe it or not, this is going to come out Saturday morning, and it was last Saturday that he contacted me initially. And in that time, he sent me the knife and the sheath, and I finished the repair. So what the repair was is that this was a canted belt loop, and it was also very long, and a little too long for his belt. And a good friend of his made this for him. That friend has since passed away. And so this is a special sheath and knife. So this made me just a tad nervous because I had to take all the stitching out of this, the original stitching. And this is the finished product, by the way. Took all the stitching out, had to cut this so it wasn't canted, sideways, and so that it fit just a little snugger on his belt. And then restitch it all, reglue it, restitch it all. And we're thinking about a rivet, but I think we might skip it because this is fitting very, very tightly in the sheath. So this particular sheath does not have a welt. And we talked about me putting a welt in it, but we were afraid it wouldn't fit very nicely. So I was really concerned about taking this all apart, putting it back together, but I think it turned out pretty decent. Stitching here is a little bit funny, but it's hard you have to line this up with the holes that are already there. And that's very difficult when you have to glue a belt loop on here and restitch it. So I'm extremely happy with the way this turned out, and I hope he is too. I think he is. So in this knife, what kind of knife is it? Well, this is a right edge, believe it or not. And I like this knife. It's got nice jimping right there. He's put a really great edge on it. I love the handle, and I love the sheath. The sheath is fantastic. Look at that tooling on here. Just great work by his good friend who has passed away. So that was an honor to do that. Then I worked on another project, and it was for this knife right here. And I got a little story to tell you with this sheath. This is for a gentleman who I've done some work for, and I made this for the U.S. Navy knife. You remember that from a video in the past. And then this is the one with the lines, the jigging here. The aloe. I don't know much about this. Made in Spain, inox. So then I made these mimicking stripes on the front of the sheath, which I think turned out wonderful. So I get this whole thing pretty much done, and here's the story. And I've got, the only thing I have left is the snap, and it's looking perfect. I think it just turned out great. And I go to cut this snap, and I cut it accidentally too short. I cut it on the line where the snap goes in instead of the line where the excess leather had to be cut off. So now what am I going to do? So I decided to install the snap so that it snaps on the side. And that's what I did. So hopefully that looks okay. The owner seemed to be okay with it, and I think it looks unique and it works fine. And I think this sheath turned out pretty decent. So even with a mistake. So I think the big thing here is when you're putting in snaps, put the snap in before you cut it. So you make sure you got it in the right spot, then you can cut the excess leather off. That's what I'm going to do next time, because I have one more sheath to make for him, and I'll have that completely done. So that's my advice there. And don't work on it when you're tired. I was a little tired when I worked on it. I probably shouldn't have. But it turned out okay, I think, in the long run. This is what I was going for, snap in the front. I mean, this navy sheath turned out wonderful. So I think that's all I had to talk about today. And I want to thank Randy. I want to thank this gentleman for both of these gentlemen for asking me to do these projects for you, and Walter for the stamps. And thank you all for watching.